What's up, everyone? Welcome back to United Obsession. Guys, who the hell is responsible for this fucking mess that we're in? Now, I'm going to talk you through the situation of where we are and how we came to be in this mess that we're currently in. So, everyone at the moment, most fans especially, will be pointing the finger at Ruben Amorim. And yes, I agree, he is definitely part of the problem. But the problem is a lot bigger than you actually think. It's not just Ruben Amorim. Really, the problem are the Glazer family. Because if you look at their behavior over the last, say, 15 years, it's been absolutely disgraceful. They are treating this club as if it's sort of playing Monopoly. They don't give a fuck about anything. And I would go as far as to call them bloody abusers. They do. I mean, there's nothing they're not scared of. They've come, they've conquered, and they've taken over. Literally. So, since the Glazers sold their 25% share to Sir Jim Ratcliffe last year in February, they delegated all operations football operations to Sir Jim Ratcliffe, aka INEOS. So, and that for me was a huge blow to Manchester United. Why? Because INEOS is a great businessman, but he is absolutely terrible when it comes to running football clubs. He also has other investments in other football clubs, and they're all massively in debt and hugely in decline. His only really successful sporting venture is with AMG Mercedes. So the Glazers made a really, really poor decision. Really poor. Out of everyone in the whole world, you had to sell it to Sir Jim Ratcliffe. And obviously that wasn't a quick decision that they made. The reason that they probably made that was because, first of all, he's from Manchester. Second of all, he has the funds. Third of all, he's a good businessman. And he was willing to get his hands dirty with Man United. But that was a really poor decision by the Glazers. Look, the only way we can have a rosy future going forward is by just Manchester United selling the club. Selling the club. They've already made enough money. You've squeezed everything out of this club. There's nothing more to squeeze. You're all terribly, terribly, filthy, filthy rich. And what I mean is they're all billionaires, all of them. So, guys, if I were Man United right now, if I were any of the 6 Glazers or Sir Jim Ratcliffe, I would sell the club. I would look for a potential buyer in Saudi Arabia or places similar to. Now, so Sir Jim Ratcliffe was appointed head of football operations in February in 2024, at which stage he decided, with no experience really in managing professional football clubs, at least successful ones, decided to hire no other than Jason Wilcox. Because Jason Wilcox, let's be honest, he is a fucking disaster as well. At the moment, he is pulling a lot of shots at Manchester United. And if you don't know who he is basically the technical director. Well, he was the technical director at Manchester United for approximately 1 year before coming from Southampton. And then he escalated. Well, he was promoted into director of football in 2025. A month later, Omar Berrada, who is our current CEO, who came from Manchester City, our rivals. He is now our CEO. So a lot of this mess is caused by INEOS. A lot of this mess is caused by INEOS because, first of all, you shouldn't have never bought Man United, yeah. And if you did have any sense at all, you wouldn't have taken on the football operation responsibilities. You should have just left things how they were. If I was you, that's what I would have done. Look, if I'm not a baker, there's no need for me to open a bakery. It just doesn't make any sense. If you don't have any success in a field, do not try to get into that field, especially businesses like Manchester United, where you're putting a lot of people's lives on the line. You're putting a lot of people's dignity on the line. So it was a really, really poor decision, one by the Glazers and two by Sir Jim Ratcliffe. So, and I think it's something that they're both right now regretting, both of them. But Sir Jim Ratcliffe now, at the moment, he is looking at this situation like, what the hell have I done? I shouldn't have done this. And I think Man United fans have been way too lenient on the Glazers. I still think they need to go after them again. They do not deserve to own this club. They do not deserve to own this club. One, because they're sucking money out of this club when they have money available to invest in this club. They have money available. You need to remember, these are billionaires from Florida in the USA. And look, they are just sucking the life out of this club and out of these fans, and they're dragging us through the mud. I'm pretty sure everyone can agree with that. So let's just go back to our CEO, Omar Berrada. Look, he hasn't been in appointment that long, but if I was him, I would now wake up, fire Amorim, and get a world-class manager right now, immediately, because Ruben Amorim is not going to be successful at Manchester United. He's just not. Everyone knows that. He might be a nice guy, but this is not a nice guy competition. This is Manchester United we're talking about. So, at the moment, if I was INEOS, I would immediately fire Ruben Amorim. Immediately. I'm talking right now, today. And appoint someone who really does have the experience we need. Also, as well, I would definitely summons Omar Berrada to the table and say, listen, stop giving out these stupid 5-year contracts. Stop giving out these stupid 5-year contracts, because at the moment, we are giving contracts, 5-year contracts out to every Tom, Dick and Harry that comes to Manchester United. And that's a big problem. Why? Because just look at the Sesko situation at the moment. We have to pay his salary for the next 5 years. And at the moment, he has been absolutely terrible. I think he's just scored 1 goal since joining Manchester United. So we need to stop giving players 5-year contracts. We need to stop doing that. That's one of the biggest errors at Manchester United. Personally, I would give no one more than 2 years at Manchester United. If you don't perform, you're giving a warning. After that warning, goodbye, mate. You got to go. There's the door. You don't just sit them on the bench for 5 years and pay them a crazy salary for 5 years. That, to me, that is just absolutely madness. So, guys, it's really a mixture of people that are sucking the life out of this club. One are the Glazers, who are just total. They're a disaster for this club. They have to sell as soon as possible. INEOS, you have to go and you have to sell. Omar Berrada, I want to see more from him, but like I said, he's made some terrible decisions, especially giving 5-year contracts to all our new players. And look, Jason Wilcox, you retard. You retard. And the reason why he's a retard is because look at the players he brings in. So, guys, like I said, at the moment, it's not just Ruben Amorim. You need to remember, Ruben Amorim has been appointed since November last year. So he hasn't been that long at the club, but he's been long enough so we can make a decision on whether we want to keep him or not. And guys, to me, it's very clear. We need to get rid of him as soon as possible. So let me know what you think about the situation, guys. Let me know, who do you think is responsible? Does Ruben deserve more time, or should he be fired? Does Jason Wilcox deserve more time, or should he be fired? Does Omar Berrada deserve more time, or should he be fired? And of course, does Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers deserve more time or not? Guys, as always, like, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If not, leave a comment down below, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.